Hi, my name is Rachel Avila, and today we are going to do a tutorial on how to export records. First thing we're going to do is pull up our wormed screen, and we are going to go to our reports. Now, there are three different ways to export records, and the first one is to export all the records. So we go to Reports, and we go to Export All Records. Our next option is we need to choose the format in which we want to export. We have the choice between Excel and comma separated, whichever one you prefer. The next thing we get to select is what field we want to export, or fields. If you select all or if you select none, everything will export into your document. That's a lot of information. If you only want to export a small amount of information, there are different ways to select that. One, say you just want to have all the addresses found, and you can export just the addresses found. If you want to select more than one, depending on if you are using a Mac or if you are using a PC, you can press, for a Mac, which is what I have, you press Command, and then you can hold Command down, and you can click and choose what records you want. You may have to scroll through all the fields to find out what you want to export. If you have a PC, you press Control and you do that same action. So let's say we want to export all of the admit. So we are going to select that. I am going to press Shift, then press the bottom of what I want to export. That will give me an entire list of what I want to export. Now I just go to Export Records. I find wherever my computer decided to download the file, and now I have pulled up all of the admit information for all of the fields in the database. This is a very small amount of information that we have in the database that we are working with, so there's not a whole lot of information. If you have a couple thousand animals, this is going to be pages and pages and pages long. Now we are going to go to the next way to export records. I need to get out of this screen. Close that. Going to go back to Wormed. Alright, so now we're back at the page that we left off at. The next thing we can do is do a search for a particular thing. It could be a species, it could be a keyword, it could be address found, it could be whatever. I am going to go to quick search and I'm going to type in finch, comma house, and press go. This is going to give me a subset of information with the species being house finch. Now what I'm going to do is export these records. So now I have all the information for all the house finches. In this list of house finches, I can select what fields I want to use and in what format, very similar to the one before this. Again, format Excel or comma separated. Just to make things simple, I am going to not select anything, and what that is going to do is select all the fields. Pull up my download, and there we go. These are all of the fields for all of the house finches that came in by their year, case ID, the species ID, the house finch, the date admitted, everything. Who brought it in, all the way across. Lots of information. Now we will exit out of this screen, and there's one more way to do an export. Another way to do an export is just go to a single record and export that one record. So let's go to Purple Martin. It's going to pull up that record. Not a lot of information on it. Let's choose a different one that has some more information. I know that our first record has a lot of information. So here's the red-tailed hawk. So what we're going to do to export is go to Share Record. Again, to make life simple, we're just not going to select anything. If I wanted to, I could select just their band, just their body weight, just their location, where if they died, what their final disposition was. I could select anything. I'm going to select nothing, and therefore I will get all the information. Export this record. And now for that one bird, I have all the information that was ever taken on this bird on this one Excel spreadsheet. There's one more thing I'm going to talk about, which is not exactly an export, but it is one of our extensions, and it is how to back up all of the data in this database. I have to be an admin or a super admin in order to activate this extension. I'm going to go to Settings, and I am going to list all extensions, and go down to the very bottom because it's alphabetized, and Wildlife Rehabilitation MD Backup. I'm going to activate this extension. Now over here on the left menu, it says Wormed Backups. Select that. Now I have the option to make a new backup. Now this data file is kind of crazy. It's information that I don't even understand, but what it does is at some point, if you want to look at all this information, it takes all of the background techie stuff, and you will have to find someone that can translate it for you if you wanted to remove all of your data from the database. It's not anything that I can read, but apparently there are people out there that speak this language. This is what it's going to look like. So it might be wise also, if you're going to do a backup like this, to do a backup at the end of the year in an Excel, save it somewhere, and then at least you will have all the information that you need that is actually legible to a layperson. But this is good for your own protection as well. We don't plan on ever having anything happen to the information, but you never know. Hopefully that will help you when it comes to exporting any records. If you have any questions, please feel free to send us feedback. If you don't remember where feedback is, it's this big wordage up here that says send feedback. So let us know. Thank you.